Match play, you see that Norm defeated Brian. That was yesterday. Oh, 4-win trip.
Talking to himself, he says a little more. Now, he needs a little more room on the ball. As you see, he doesn't go quite as wide on this lane as you'll see on the right-hand lane, or a little more speed to accommodate that slightly high hit. A great victory, 237-236 over Walter Ray in the opening match.
Andrea, his wife, mother of Joshua and Cameron in Atlanta, watching all this. They're shouting Duke. Next on ABC, except on the West Coast, this year's Masters winner Tiger Woods and defending champion Phil Mickelson tee it up at the GTE Byron Nelson Classic. Yes, today, and of course final round coverage on ABC tomorrow from Las Colinas in Dallas, Texas. Leaving a 10-pin on the left lane, contemplating as he comes back and takes a long look at the 10-pin and shakes his head. A little bit to the left of center to cover the 10 and mark the spare. Okay, strike spare. All right, here's Nelson. I guess here is.
Hi, Chris. Thank you very much. Walter Ray, pretty good match. You defeated Voss twice during the week, but yet today was a different story.
Yeah, I bowled a pretty good game. Unfortunately, I didn't get the strikes at the right time. Brian bowled a good game and sneaked out that win by 1 pin. They got some good matches coming up. They got a lot of good players. Let's see how Mark Joy does against our players.
All right. Great victory last week, and good luck in the King of the Hill in Harrisburg in 2 weeks. Back to you, Chris.
Okay. Thank you, Bo. Walter Ray, in addition to his bowling, will be in Kitchener, Ontario in July for the World Championships in horseshoe pitching. Memorial Day weekend, he'll be in West Virginia. Good results on a light hit. Now, Norm Duke, spare up, shooting in the third. This is our second match. The winner will go into the final against Bobler and Jr. Two instead of one. 6-10, no problem.
Hi.
12 pins separating Norm Duke and Brian Voss. Brian with the lead as a result of the double. So Norm Duke, who opened with a strike in the first frame, has two spares. Needs to get back in the pocket because Brian Voss, if you just joined us, defeated Walter Ray Williams Jr. 237-236 in the first game. There you go. Well, here in Canada, as we go to break, let's take our weekly trip down memory lane. This week, Memory Lane takes us back to 1993 and the first IOF Foresters Open. It was ABC TV's first journey into Canada for a PBA event, and Pete Weber took home the prize, $43,000 in his 20th career PBA title. The battle is on for the championship here in Mississauga, Ontario. A suburb or a city of its own with nearly 500,000 people. And we came here to do Secretariat's either last or next to last race. I think there were about 69,000 people in this lovely suburb. Beautiful place. This guy is bowling beautifully today. Brian Voss, double up, fourth frame. Three in a row, and here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris. And Bob Warren Jr., they're throwing a lot of strikes out there today, but in my opinion, you are the greatest strike bowler that we have on tour today, as evidenced by your 6,300 games. What is the key to keeping a big string going like that?
Well, I'm a confidence bowler, Bo, and I get my confidence going. I got pretty good ball roll, and I can usually string them along. But a lot of it has to do with desperation. I mean, you got the best bowlers in the world out here. Can't afford to stop striking, so I just stay in a positive mental state, keep things real positive. As long as I keep things positive, I can keep striking.
Well, he's showing his other players a lot of respect. He hasn't in the first 42 games as he's waxed them pretty good. Chris, he's up next. Back to you.
Okay, Bob learned. Thanks, Bo. Here's Brian Voss. He left a 3-6-10 on the left lane. So he's had a 10, he's had a 6-10, and now the 3 pins. No problems. Fair in the 5th frame. Still leads by 19 as Norm Duke is up, and Norm has a strike. In his last frame, the 4th, now the 5th. The IOF Foresters Open. Huge organization. .55, 123 pounds. Dynamite.
All right, Norm Duke in a position to take the lead after 5 frames. He's trailed through the first 5 frames. 2 strikes up, 1 pin lead if he can strike in the 6th. If there's one thing that's plaguing Norm Duke in the last 6 weeks that I've watched, Chris, is he's pulling the ball slightly left in clutch situations. Let's watch for that today.
Saved by a great scout, a Mississauga scout, no doubt.
And a little north of here, the Cree Indians, as you see a head pin go sailing across the lane and take out the 10 pin. The 7-10 standing momentarily. But that's what you're going to get when you get tremendously strong reactive resin bowling balls bowling on a synthetic lane surface. 3-pound, 6-ounce pins, and the best bowlers in the world.
Well, I'm seated up here with 2 winners this week. Nelson Burton Jr. and Butch Silver. 32nd and 37th.
The old guy's got a little bit of money. Not too bad.
Of course. Six frames strike.
Hear that cough?
Norm and Brian Voss having a little fun up there. 6th frame there was Brian Voss's best shot of the day. Despite a 237-236 narrow victory over Walter Ray, he hasn't been perfect. That one was 100%. Let's see if he can maintain that form.
Now he leads by 20. Toronto's majestic castle, it's called Casa Loma, which is Spanish for house on the hill, was built in...
Rack, please, rack, please.
From the extreme outside line, he's going to get the wall shot. The head pin's going to do most of the damage. You'll see the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 standing in the left corner. Head pin wipes them out. As the late Billy Whaley said, hit him thin and watch him spin. That was a classic example of that. As Norm tries to get mentally prepared for a very key shot in the match.
U.S. versus Canada. Always competitive. Uh-oh.
Chrissy's taking a double re-rack. He re-racked there while he was momentarily thinking what he should do on this particular shot. He's allowed 2 each match. He calls for his second one. And basically he has to have, as you see the pins barely touched with the machine coming down, sometimes it's psychological to gain his thoughts. Other times the pin may be as much as a 1/4 inch off spot, and that can affect the strikes.
Have you ever used it as a psych?
That's kind of personal.
You would know your trick. Okay.
No, it's good to collect your thoughts. Not so much a psych, but it's good to collect your thoughts. This is the key shot in the match. He trails by 20. He must strike to keep the pressure on Voss.
Give me that tag. Let's go.
He should have lost the pen. Nice gone, Norm.
Harry Smith type reaction. The great Harry Smith. A classic jump, 1960 when he won the U.S. Open. Harry Smith, that was his patent. Now, let's see if Voss can answer the challenge.
Oh, he had a double working, leaving the 10-pin 8th frame. Semi-final match.
Brian Voss looks like he's leaving as many 10 pins as we thought would be left today, and basically he's left 5 of them. Walter Ray had one earlier, and Voss has been perfect at converting this spare.
Bob Learn Jr. is up next. He was the leader of the IOF Foresters Open coming into these finals, and then to be followed by Mark Doy, the Canadian champion, going against the Forester winner. Today live at 4:30 Eastern, ABC's Wide World of Sports, Derby winner Silver Charm heads into the second duel of the Visa Triple Crown Challenge, the 122nd running of the Preakness Stakes. And I'll tell you about Wide World Classic. And on Wide World Classic, we'll look back at the thrilling 1989 Preakness. That's today live at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Preceded by the Byron Nelson Classic.
Norm Duke up in the 9th frame, double working, trails by 9. In a position where if he strikes, he takes the lead. If he throws 4 in a row, he locks out Brian Voss. Here we go.
Our first game, 237 to 236.
No more rack. They're barely standing.
He wanted another.
And right now you see Norm Duke as he gets up in the 10th frame with a critical shot, playing that outside line. He's going to try to stay just outside the first arrow with slightly more hook than Walter Ray played. He has to avoid going high on this lane. You want to see nothing but pin shrapnel left after a bomb goes off? Watch this. Right now, Norm Duke in a position to take a 21-pin lead with 2 more strikes, finish at 247, and shut out Voss. Anything less, Voss can still win the match. Here we go.
Rock and roll.
Here's the situation. Norm Duke will make this simple 2-pin spare. He'll finish with 236 and force Brian Voss to get 2 strikes. If he gets strike 9 spare, he would lose by 1 pin.
Carefully putting it down the lane. And 236, the same score that Walter Ray had in the previous match. But this man that you'll be seeing next had 237 to win by 1.
Well, he can't get 237, Chris. It's actually, I guess, possible if he gets 2 strikes and gets 1 pin. However, it's mandatory that he strike on the next 2 balls. And he takes one of those re-racks to collect his thoughts. Here we go. He must strike on this shot to go on to meet Bob Learn Jr., our tournament leader.
That's a strike.
Duke's the winner.
All right, 6-10 again, plaguing Prime. This week's tip of the week features Bob
Like
Lawrence
good
Jr.
for
will be